No, dead. They're all dead.
Mamma mia!
The following views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the producers, hosts, and or guests of the Bitter Marks podcast. We assume no responsibility for any errors or omissions in the content provided.
Listener discretion is advised.
Bitter Marks! Bitter Marks! What's up, smooth babies? Welcome to Bitter Marks. It's your favorite non-wrestling wrestling podcast coming to you every single Friday morning in audio form at bittermarks.com or wherever you get your podcasts from, or coming at you every Tuesday night live at 9:05. That's p.m. That's Central Standard Time. Streaming from our YouTube page. Just head on over to YouTube, search Bitter Marks Podcast. Click on our channel. Make sure you subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Hit that little bell icon. And you can be part of this show live on Tuesdays. You can just join the YouTube chat if you feel like it. And do whatever you feel like in there. You want to ask us questions, whether they're wrestling related, whether they're non-wrestling related. Make fun of us. Share a good recipe. Do what you got to do. And once again, that's every Tuesday night live at 9:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. If this is your first time listening, we thank you for joining us. Maybe you don't want to join us live. Maybe you just have some questions as to what's going on with this podcast. Well, do it the old-fashioned way. Email us, bittermarks@gmail.com. That's a great way to get a hold of us if you want us to get back to you in 2 to 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? That's the way to do things. So anyway, I'm your host. My name is Sasha, and I'm joined by my dear friend, the Dolph Ziggler of this podcast, whatever that means. It's Peewee.
Hey, I'll take the Dolph Ziggler. That works. What's going on?
Yeah, I'd like to be the Dolph Ziggler. I take that back because he's
one.
a stand-up comedian.
Oh, there. Okay,
So-
yeah, that fits you more. He's a hard worker. That's also you.
No,
underappreciated.
take that back.
That's also you. Yeah, I'm definitely not the Dolph Ziggler of this podcast.
Who would you be of this podcast if you had to be a modern-day wrestler? We talking Keith Lee?
Oh, that's a good
You're the
question.
Karrion Kross of this podcast?
What do I do for this? I don't do much on this podcast. Who does not much but still gets most of the credit?
That's a great question.
Oh, I'm lobbing you softballs.
Oh, The Miz. The Miz.
All right, I'll take the Miz. The Miz, I don't agree with that. The Miz does a ton for that company, but okay.
The Miz does nothing. He shouldn't even be on the show anymore. You're definitely The Miz.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
If you're in the YouTube chat right now, let us know who Peewee is of this podcast.
Let me know
and why. And we're gonna ask a lot of the smooth babies in the YouTube chat today because we are not doing a show with notes today. we're just
you did not live up to the hype of being the Dolph Ziggler of this podcast by being very unprepared once we fired these microphones up.
Well, here's the thing. Many years ago, you got improv class like tickets or something. You're supposed to go to an improv class for Christmas.
Right. Absolutely, yeah.
So we've given you 2 years. Today is your day to shine, Peewee.
Do not remind my wife of that. I will absolutely have to sign up for it. Brock Lesnar was a recommendation for who I would be on this podcast. That's not bad. Come in, do my stuff, get out of here. Don't really care about anybody.
He didn't say Lesnar. He just said Brock. Maybe he was talking about that kid who went to Harvard who raped all those young women. And then he went to jail, but then the judge was like, nah, he's a good guy. Oh, allegedly. I love that. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful graphic. Okay, now you are definitely not the Miz. Now you are the John Morrison of this podcast.
All right.
As you are underrated and super talented.
I saw this week.
And also,
they released. Hold on,
pretty old.
Definitely old, and shouldn't be here based on my age. I saw that John Morrison released a shirt on WWEshop.com. Did you see this? It had the word "moist" in it.
Well, yeah, he's been talking about the moist stuff for a while because he also has like the moist maker. It is the.
He has like a little gimmick thing that like pumps out the moist. Literal
it's clearly
moist
a Rick
maker.
Martel ripoff.
Sure.
Clearly. And so, yeah, I forget what the T-shirt said. It was like, make America moist again or something. Whatever it was fantastic. Well, speaking of making America moist, We are joined by the punctual prince of podcasting from parts unknown Illinois. It's Producer Tony.
What's up, everybody?
There he
Look at
is.
that.
How we
Look at
doing?
that.
Just
Hustle.
reminded
Loyal.
you to never give up.
What a week
Never
for
give
you.
up.
What a week for you.
Tell me about it, buddy.
Oh.
I was very surprised when I was camping and saw the Twitter notification from the Bitter Marks podcast at Bitter Marks on Twitter. Make sure you follow.
Nicely done.
And there was a big return this week. I think we should get right into it because I'm ready to go. I got the wristbands on.
It seems like Vince or someone up there is a big Bitter Marks fan. Listened to the show last week without Tony on it. It was like, what do we need to do to get Tony's interest back into wrestling?
That's it.
How do we get him to talk more wrestling, get him back on the Bitter Marks podcast? It worked.
Well, if you want to talk about it, well, let's start off with the prediction updates, since that's something we still do, kind of. We had 2 events this weekend. We had an Impact pay-per-view and a WWE pay-per-view.
2 events, you say?
I only got a text for one, so I think something shady's going on here, Peewee.
Nothing shady. Just I did not happen to remember about the event, and I did not pay attention to it. I was busy on Saturday, and then I still almost sent you guys the pick to do the picks, but it was like Saturday night after the event. I didn't know if you guys had seen it.
I would not have looked it up. I would not have looked it up.
I didn't want shenanigans being called, so I said, who cares about predictions anyway? Nobody. That's why we start the show hot with predictions. But so we did end up doing the Sunday night show, which was WWE's Money in the Bank, which I would have also forgotten if Peewee had not texted me to remind me. So thank you for that, Peewee. Sure. And it's a good thing that you did, because me and Tony both got 4 out of 7 correct. And you, Peewee, got 5 out of 7 correct. So you, yeah.
Woo! How far ahead of everybody am I now?
I'll tell you what, you're not far. I got 51. Producer Tony's got 48.
I'm in the 60s,
and Peewee?
70s.
47.
Jesus Christ.
Only one behind Producer Tony. It's looking like Producer Tony's going to be buying a lot of Ricochet shirts next year.
I might need to borrow 2 of them.
So, Peewee, did you watch the pay-per-view?
I watched the end of it. I heard rumors that stuff was going to happen, that there was rumors of Becky, that there was rumors of Cena, that there were just rumors upon rumors upon rumors, and I was following along. We were watching, I think we were watching Space Jam 2. That's what we were doing. We were watching Space Jam 2, and when it ended, I realized that, okay, Connor's up. We might as well switch over, and before he goes to bed, let's catch the end of the pay-per-view. And so we caught the end of I don't remember what it was. We caught the last 2 matches, I want to say. So I didn't see much, but we definitely saw the end of the show after the Roman match.
And I didn't see any of it, but then I saw the internet exploded because John Cena made his return. And that's obviously when we had to contact Tony to make sure he was still alive.
Have you gone back and watched the clip?
I appreciate that, gentlemen. No, I haven't made it to the whole clip. Is he like back full time now, or like?
We don't know. It sounds like he's just back for SummerSlam. So he's I believe he's just a part timer at this point, but it's something. Yes.
SummerSlam, my house, baby. Let's do it.
John Cena themed party at Tony's house. I'm in.
Yes.
I'm in.
Yeah, Bring all your jorts and wristbands. We're gonna have a great time.
5 weeks away from yesterday, I want to say, is SummerSlam. I want to say it's the 15th of August.
I have no idea.
I don't know. That doesn't even sound like 5 weeks from yesterday. It sounds like 3 weeks from yesterday. So, but I'll tell you this: I did not watch Raw this week either. But then I saw that a bunch of stuff happened, so I kind of fast forwarded through it. John Cena started off Raw, and this was the first Raw. Yeah, this was the first Raw, I want to say, with people.
Smart.
Because the first SmackDown happened with people this past week.
Right. First pay-per-view
which was
Sunday,
the pay-per-view was Sunday, and then they open up the program with that stupid, like, WWE Forever, Never, or whatever it is. They change it so often, I don't know their slogan anymore. Yeah. And then it cut to the crowd live in, I want to say, Dallas, Texas. and then you heard the theme music.
yeah.
You know, I can't hum it. We'll get sued and kicked off of
Your
YouTube.
humming is that good. We talked about this a couple weeks ago when Aleister Black debuted with AEW the first week that they had fans back. Maybe it wasn't a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was 1 week ago. I don't know. But I think WWE was very smart to wait till they have fans back, then finally bring back Cena at the pay-per-view, and I thought it paid off tenfold. Did you hear? I know Tony, you haven't seen that clip. Sasha, have you seen that clip of him coming back and the initial reaction that he got out of the entire building?
Pandemonium.
It was insane. People were hanging from the roof, yelling as loud as they could. It was great. It was fantastic. I love, if there's one thing about wrestling that I love, it's reactions, and this was
it's
a
John
huge
Cena.
reaction. Absolutely,
Yes, I agree, Peewee.
100%.
It's good to see fans back. It really does make a huge impact on the wrestling show. If we're going to say something nice about wrestling, but did you happen to see how the SmackDown show opened this week?
I didn't. No, I'm guessing Tony.
So
didn't.
SmackDown opens, same thing. Like they show the crowd, everybody's excited because there is a crowd, and then all of a sudden you hear, "No chance! Here comes Vince McMahon."
Oh yeah. Oh, good.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
Didn't I talk about this? Like, if one guy is gonna get the first pop back when you have people, it may as well be Vince. Like,
Did he do the walk?
of
You're
course
damn right
he did the walk.
Well, he's
can't.
old. I don't even know if he can
That's
do
all
the
he's
walk
got.
anymore.
He didn't even like go down the ramp. He just walked out, came to the top, kind of looked at both areas, took out the microphone, and he said, "Where the hell have y'all been?" and then he left, and his music hit again. I think everybody thought that he was like it was a joke, but he just left, and then the show started.
So he literally just came out to get the first pop of the live crowd. Good for Vince. Good for Vince. After 40 years of doing this, he finally got some sort of payday off all this.
And so then Raw happens. John Cena comes out. They like bleeped him out on my television because he called Roman Reigns an asshole. Possibly worse. Like a lot of words came out.
Okay.
But
On
then
Raw,
the crowd
you're saying?
started chanting.
This was Raw. Okay, no, I didn't see it, so I can't confirm.
So it was done pretty well. And then like a bunch of other stupid stuff happened on Raw. Actually, I won't even say that it was stupid, but it's crazy. Like Tony, I know you don't know who Karrion Kross is. Karrion Kross is the NXT champion, right? So he's somebody. He's recognizable if you pay attention to this stuff. They debuted him on Raw this week.
Came out with the belt, with the NXT belt.
With the belt and without his valet/wife Scarlett, who is apparently still down at NXT. No one knows.
They're burying her. Yeah, great. Love it.
They're burying her, and then he ended up losing to Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy is the goddamn NXT champ?
It wasn't a title match, no. But it was even weirder than that.
That would have been fucking awesome.
So
Here's a 45-year-old Jeff Hardy coming back.
I don't know a ton about either Jeff Hardy or NXT. Is Karrion Kross a heel there?
Yeah.
He is, okay.
Yeah.
So Jeff Hardy is obviously a babyface. I don't know the last time Hardy was a heel. I can't remember a time he was. He's like a all-time babyface. He's one of those guys. On top of that, he debuted, or not debuted. He changed his music for some reason for a while, and then last night he came back, returned after being absent for a while, and returned using the old Hardy's theme music. So everybody was fucking pumped for this. He comes to the ring, everybody's super behind him. And then Hardy beats Karrion Kross, the NXT champion, in 1:38 seconds, which I don't. That specifically,
not clean.
I'm getting there. I don't have a specific problem about him losing to Jeff Hardy, and I don't really have a problem with him losing in 1:38 seconds. It doesn't make NXT look fantastic, but how do you justify making Karrion Kross lose to Jeff Hardy, one of the top baby faces of the company, by having Jeff Hardy put his feet on the ropes, get a 1, 2, 3, and then bail out of the ring?
And seconds before that, Karrion Kross went to do something that he never has done before, which is he pushed Hardy into the corner, and then he started climbing the ropes for some reason, like he was going to do the 10 punches.
Oh, yeah.
Which no one has done since 1991.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't get over it.
And then Jeff Hardy half-ass powerbombed him from the second rope and then put his feet up on the second rope to get the 3 count. Then they interviewed Karrion Kross in the ring after he just lost. And he's like, this is the biggest mistake Jeff Hardy will ever make, which is not true. I don't know if you remember that TNA versus Sting match. And Jeff Hardy's just made a lot of mistakes, obviously. But for it to be Jeff Hardy is kind of interesting. Let me tell you what Jeff Hardy did this year. Jeff Hardy was not a part of WrestleMania this year. WrestleMania, where they make everybody be a part of WrestleMania. You're in a battle royal. You're in a gauntlet. You're in a tag team women's match. Like, literally everybody on the rosters on WrestleMania. Jeff Hardy was not for any reason. He was not injured. His contacts did not fall out. It's just, it's Jeff Hardy. He's like 90. You know?
Yeah, agreed. I couldn't understand any of the choices that they made with that specifically. I'm not going to second guess them. I always, I always side with WWE. There's always a plan, in my opinion. I just have no fucking clue what it could be at this point, given what happened last night with Karrion Kross.
And CU Comedy asked, does anybody know why they didn't bring Scarlett up with him? No, nobody knows. Like, it's not something that's been talked about. He came up to do shows like their main event or Superstars show or whatever it's called, the Saturday show, and he was without her. And so people were like speculating that he was going to come up without her, and he did. And it's like, why? What's the point of that?
I mean, we're recording this at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday. Did anyone watch NXT?
Tony?
Maybe. Prime time, if you're in the chat, let me know if Karrion Kross or Scarlett was on NXT and what happened.
And then a couple other weird things happen on Raw too. So outside of the Karrion Kross thing, we had Nikki Cross, who is no longer known as Nikki Cross, probably because of Karrion Kross. She's now known as Nikki Ash, ASH, which stands for Almost Superhero.
Correct.
Because she now wears a cape and is some sort of motivational speaker.
Peewee loves this.
She won the Money in the Bank briefcase yesterday. Charlotte ended up winning the women's title yesterday against Rhea Ripley. And to end Raw, Nikki Ash came down, cashed in, and beat Charlotte for the title.
Wow.
And that's how it ended. She like jumped into the crowd. I think they were expecting like people to like hold her up and celebrate, but it was just more people who were like, "Hey, put the camera on me." So wrestling is back in full effect.
Yeah, that was interesting. I couldn't figure out if are they just trying to pad Charlotte's numbers?
That's what it felt like. I mean, she was a champion for a day. Like it's almost ridiculous. And then the thing that just basically, in my opinion, just neutralizes everything that they've been doing. Bobby Lashley challenges anybody to come out. Keith Lee comes out. He's been missing for months. People believe like a medical issue or something.
People were sitting on the edge of their seats waiting to find out who was going to answer Lashley's open challenge for the. It wasn't for the belt. It was just an open challenge to like put your name on the map. There were all sorts of names and rumors that were out there. And I didn't see Keith Lee's name out there a ton. So when he came out, I was very surprised.
Yeah, and it was cool. I mean, everybody likes Keith Lee, I'm pretty sure. He's a pretty popular superstar or whatever, and he kind of disappeared. I think people thought it was COVID for a minute, but then he was gone for quite some time. Yeah. So we still don't know what happened to him, but he ended up losing to Bobby Lashley. And then you hear the bullshit music, and here comes Goldberg.
He's back.
What? Goldberg? You're going to bring in John Cena, and the people are going to go crazy, and then you're going to bring in Goldberg the next day. And Goldberg's going to beat Bobby Lashley eventually for the title, right?
I don't know. If Bobby Lashley is going to... He crushed Kofi on Sunday. He crushed Keith Lee last night. If he's going to crush Goldberg, I'm fine with it. It's just defining Lashley as that much stronger and that much above everybody else. Now, that said, if Goldberg defeats Lashley, and that elevates Goldberg so much higher than Kofi and Keith Lee and all of them, then we've got a problem, and that's probably the route that they're going. I don't know what they're thinking.
You know what's interesting to me? All this stuff is like crazy stuff that happened. The stuff with the Nikki Cross and Karrion Kross, and there was what's his name, the Reginald, the guy Reginald who was with Nia Jax and whatever. They like tossed him to the side. Nia Jax turned on him. And like seconds later, he won the 24/7 title. Like there was just so much randomness on Raw last night, and it's like, is this a good thing? like surprises. Like you are surprised at everything
I was
that
going to
happened,
say,
right?
we have vowed not to talk about Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views as far as in a review for months now, and last night's Raw got us talking. We are talking about it now.
I think surprises are cool, but if the surprise is Goldberg, I don't think that's cool.
I think that was the one that turned me off too.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, like, I'm not going to argue with the Jeff Hardy thing. He didn't win cleanly, so to me, that's
so, I can't get over that they had a babyface put his feet on the ropes. I don't know what's going on up there.
I know, and Karrion Kross has to like destroy him now. Like that has to be where it leads or whatever. But I think that was like a pretty smart way of, I don't know. It is what it is, and we'll go back to not talking about Raw anymore, at least until next week. What else we got here? Producer Tony, you were off a couple weeks last week and everything. Anything exciting in your neck of the woods?
Well, Daisy got spayed. That's why I wasn't able to attend last week because I was taking care of my girl. Jen was out of town on a girls' trip, so I was left alone with a very sick dog. Everything's fine. She's good. She's back to being a crazy dog. So
excellent.
Everything's good with Daisy.
I don't know if you heard, but I have this W.A.S.P.N.E.S.T.S situation.
Yeah. I remember. What happened?
Please update us.
Did you call BDI?
I didn't have to call BDI because I had multiple people reach out. So what happened was
how many were Serbian?
My parents were listening to the podcast. And my parents
big
were
fans.
like, yeah, huge smooth babies. They bought the shirts. And my dad's like, I'm coming over. We're going to take this thing down. And he came over and he's like, you know what? We're going to keep that thing up there because it's very difficult to get to. There's no easy way of knocking it down. Then I got a message from our dear friend Dawkin Kruger, who was in town. We went to breakfast. He was like, I don't even listen to your podcast anymore. I can't help you with your Nest problem. But as we were eating breakfast, I got a message from our dear friend Bishop, who flew into town strictly to take my Nest down.
Wow. The booking power of the W.A.S.P.N.E.S.T.S.
And he said, I'm coming over, and I'm going to say hello, but most importantly, I'm going to come take the Nest down. So he came over. He puts the ladder up to my house. He climbs up to go knock this Nest down, and I haven't seen him since. I don't know what happened to Bishop. And then the next day, my brother-in-law comes over because my family was celebrating my birthday. For those counting at home, my birthday was 1 month ago yesterday.
Right. Excellent. Yeah.
And my family decided to finally come celebrate. And my brother-in-law, who's like a very handy guy, I was like, I'm going to spring this on him when he gets here. And then he can go take care of it like a real man. And he saw it and he was like, best thing to do is keep it up there and we'll just knock it down in the winter. So I am living with wasps now. And then in addition to that,
long story short, nobody has touched the goddamn wasp nest.
Nope, still there. And something died under the porch of my sunroom.
Wow.
So now my sunroom stinks like death. So I got the windows open. I got odor stuff in there. It must have been something small because it wasn't like the worst smell in the world, but something died under there. That's never happened before. So I'm dealing with death in the back. I'm dealing with wasp nest up front. My dog is vicious, will attack anybody at any moment. And that's what's going on in my neck of the woods. What about you, Peewee? How was your weekend?
Yeah, this is probably the busiest 2 weeks that I've had this year. Getting ready for I had that video game show last Saturday. I think that was the same day that you were meeting with Dawkin Kruger and then having multiple people visit your wasp nest. I did the video game show, and then this week I am spending most of my week, other than doing podcast, I am pricing and getting ready for a second video game show and a trip down to Texas to do this video game show. So I leave Thursday, and I'm trying to prepare for that. My big thing was Saturday, that first video game show, just getting that out of the way and under my belt, and getting on with the video game circuit. It was a good show. I shouldn't even say it's good. If you listen to Flips and Bumps, it wasn't a good show. I complained about it a lot. I probably complained about it for about an hour straight on that podcast. And
we did get a suggestion from King of Art Justin Tuttle for that show. He said, please, I need more angry, bitter Peewee, because you held back on one story.
I got a text from Goff about the same thing. All right, we'll follow up on Flips and Bumps later this week. But the highlight of that show, other than my wife and child showing up to it to deliver me lunch, you.
That was number 2.
That's right. Sasha showed up at the show.
Yeah.
I turn around after eating my turkey sandwich, and there's Sasha doing his Batista entrance.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot on Bitter Marks, but it's or not Bitter Marks, on Flips and Bumps. But I did want to touch on a couple things here. Most of the stuff was probably Flips and Bumps oriented, but we had a couple things that were wrestling oriented, right? I was trying to think.
I walked in, and the first thing I noticed at your booth was the WrestleMania
that's
NES
what I was thinking
game.
of. Yes, he didn't even say hi, didn't do anything. He just walked straight to my table, picked up a boxed copy of the WrestleMania on NES. It was probably $20.
I'm out.
And then, then we got to talking, and eventually you, me, and Connor started doing a lap around the con just to see what the other tables were, how other people were running their booths, see what they had for sale, and that was fun. Got to see what everybody was buying. Connor was buying stuff all over the place.
I didn't want to tell you this, but I saw Connor trying to steal some stuff. He's a bad kid. He's a bad kid, is all I'm trying to tell you.
I feel like you're just trying to enhance that rivalry that you between the two of you.
I don't know.
Okay, the other thing.
But what did we find?
Yeah, the other thing we saw, I wish I should have gotten a picture of it, because I don't think you didn't pick these up, right?
No, and I looked at them when I was leaving too. I got a little itchy, but you know, if anybody but Buff Bagwell wasn't on the cover of these things, I might have picked them up.
Is that who was on it? Here,
yeah.
Let me check.
Let me see.
Oh, that's right.
What, did you buy
I got one.
Oh, yeah.
So we walked by a booth that had these packs. There were 6 of these.
Are those cards?
I believe they're cards. We're going to open them in a second. Well, I can start opening them now. But they were on a table. It was sealed. They had a bunch of sealed cards. There was a bunch of like.
Oh yeah, the card opening podcast is
we're back,
baby.
Let me get my camera. We got to do the camera view.
So I don't know what's in here. I don't know if it's a set of cards and every pack is the same.
Peewee, don't eat the gum. Don't chew the gum if there's gum in there.
There was a carny selling these, and that guy was like, "I've never seen the Goldberg. It could be."
That's what made me want to buy it. That's what made me think that it's not a complete set. There's like a map or something in here. A
map of what?
I don't know. Or maybe it's like an insert.
Nitro.
You know what the worst part is? They were selling those for $7 a box, and after you open these now, I'm gonna go pay $20 a box on eBay for them.
I told them to make an offer of no. Obviously, no one is buying these. It comes with the little like instruction book, and then this is what I thought the map was. Wow, this really does like fold out into like this huge thing.
I hope it's a Buff Bagwell poster.
It's like, what is this? I'm not going to open it.
It is
all
not
the way,
cards at all.
All right, let me get to the cards. But so I told Sasha they wanted $7 a piece. The very first card is Buff Bagwell.
Yes.
They wanted $7 a piece, and so he's like, "But if you buy all 6 of them, we'll give them to you for $35." Absolutely not, sir. We cannot pay more than. I was fine with
$10 for all of these.
Right. Well, these are thin. What the hell is this? These are all. Hold on a second.
If you have an Alex Wright rookie card, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, these suck. These are. Now maybe there's 2 decks, right? So maybe the other ones are different, but like the first card is Buff Bagwell. After that, it's a ton of just Nitro cards. Like it just says Nitro on it.
I will give you $5 per card.
And then the rest are who is this? This is the Wall being kicked by possibly just a plain street clothes Dean Malenko. And it says kick on it.
Backstage. It was not on a TV
show. There's Bagwell throwing it. This is the drop kick card.
How many Bagwell cards are in there?
Flying elbow off the top rope from Big Vito.
Jesse Tuttle chimes in. He says, Buff Bagwell asked to use my Axe body spray in a Nashville locker room 15 years ago, and he never gave it back. He can rot.
He can rot. Hey, okay, this is a 450 card, and the guy on it is known for a moonsault and not a 450. That's Hugh Morris, right? Hugh Morris never did. Now, here's a moonsault card. This is not Hugh Morris. This is Rey Mysterio.
Oh, okay.
You didn't rip that one up.
Swinging neckbreaker, more the Wall.
So what did you pay for this thing?
$5. I just picked it up, grabbed it in my hand and said, "Hey, you take $5 for this?" He said, "Yeah." All right.
So at that rate, we could have gotten all of them for $30.
Before I even open up this next one.
Oh,
that's a Jeff.
Ship it.
Looks like a
ship it.
Jeff Jarrett hollow card. Let's see what these are.
Send that my way,
Listen,
please.
you can flip these to Bishop for like $50. I guarantee it, he'll pay for it.
Do they really only come with like 2 good cards? Yeah, it's the same thing. Missile dropkick by Hoovy, a punch by Booker T, a punch. It's not even a good-looking punch. It's like an overhead. Oh, top rope punch.
I would have to.
We got a Hogan card. Top rope punch.
Hold
I
on.
would have to call this the greatest card opening podcast of all time.
So it lists the move
Yeah.
of the. It says punch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It says punch.
Wow.
It says punch.
Giuseppe is furious that there's no Sergeant Pitbull Pittman.
I'm not to the
yet.
end of this. Yeah. Yet.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
okay. So I've got punch. I've got top rope punch. And then I have face punch. Can you see this?
Awesome.
Face
Awesome.
punch.
Open hand or closed hand?
It's a closed hand. This is just DDP straight out punching Sting in the face.
Oh, you got to get him to sign that.
Yeah, definitely. Get that graded
This
immediately.
Yeah, for sure.
This one's here's a Flair chop. But it's not even him like hitting the chop. It's just him setting up for it. So if you don't know what a chop is, like you don't that doesn't oh,
It looks like he's cowering in fear.
Yeah, whose hand is that? That was a large hand.
block. There's one that just says block.
Block!
And it's one of
Wow.
it's 3 count blocking.
That is the Officer Rocha card.
And then
Cancel, I believe, was what he used to say.
and the last one is dodge with Conan doing an up and over. The bottom says thunder. What
Ship
is
me
this?
that Jeff Jarrett card.
Will do. Will do.
Overnight, please.
I'll
Overnight
hand deliver it
shipping.
by tomorrow.
And the Jeff Jarrett figure, by the way, that heels and faces thing, since we got to be done talking with the cards, right?
Yeah, that's about
Okay.
it. Right?
The Jeff Jarrett figure pre-sales start next Wednesday, they announced.
Okay.
So I got to get on that. Remind me that I got to get on that. But I saw a couple figure things that came up this week. We were talking about that one-man gang figure by Heels and Faces. They actually showed the blueprint for it.
Ah.
And the blueprint of this looks kind of weird. It's not like a interesting stance or whatever, but the jacket looks cool.
Jacket
It
looks
is
very
obviously
cool, yeah.
One-man gang. I do want you to take a look at his taint. If you look at his taint, now if you look at the front, right, the front view,
How did you
it
notice
looks like
this?
It looks like his back ass cheeks are like below his junk. But if you look at the back view, it looks like his junk is below his ass. Can
And,
you see that? Can you guys?
Of
take a
course
good
we
look?
could see that. Yes, I
The stance he's in looks like he just had some bad Mexican food, and he's
It's
like,
true.
you know, he's clenching it in. You know what I'm saying?
And so I'm wondering, is that taint or is it like an effective bad Mexican food?
I think it's a turtle head. Yeah, he's definitely got a turtle head poking out.
That's
there.
rough. That's rough. That's too detailed for a figure, if you ask me. I don't need that much detail. But it is still a pretty cool looking figure.
Agreed.
And the other figure that I thought looks really, really cool, that it pains me to say it because I'm not a big fan of this guy, but they said they're releasing one of these LJN figures, like the re-release of the old big rubber figures.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks, they released theirs a couple of years ago, and now AEW has an official one with Cody Rhodes. And it looks awesome to me. Like
Agreed.
that is a great figure. And the packaging looks awesome. It's got the poster in it. It's got the back of the card is the same as the old LJN figures. And I wish that figure was somebody that I wanted to purchase. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Does it have the neck tattoo?
It does.
I'm sure it does.
It
Really?
does. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to
Horrible
find...
neck tattoo and all. But Peewee, you like that figure?
I think it looks cool. I don't need it by any means, but it's
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy it. I just think it's a awesome looking LJN figure.
yeah, agreed.
I don't know.
I like what they're doing. I like the potential that they have. They're also doing a who is it? A derby. They're doing a derby as well.
Oh, okay. That one's gonna look a little bit better. I mean, I'm still not gonna buy it, but I will be happier to see it.
Did you?
We got all kinds of stuff, by the way, going on here. Jesse Tuttle saying, wasn't Huevos de Oro once introduced as the son of El Dandy? I don't know, but that would be
That's
incredible.
amazing if that's true.
Justin Tuttle, punch, face punch, top rope punch. That's exactly how Jerry Lawler called the entire match when we worked with him. Hutsky chimes in with one nut gang. Giuseppe chimes in with, yeah, it looks like a saggy ball. A single saggy ball. And a good point here, Brandy Rhodes LGN figure coming
Oh, is that
soon.
right?
No, but
probably.
it's got to be,
Did
right?
you hear about this?
Yeah, it looks cool.
This
Now
is-
they're
Let me see if I can put them side by side. This is another LJN
Ooh.
inspired figure. I'm trying to move them side by side.
Sergeant Slaughter.
So both companies are doing LJN inspired figures. The Slaughter is a Comic-Con exclusive. I'm not sure when that goes on sale. It's sometime this week. But then an AEW, theirs goes on sale later this year. I just thought it was very cool and interesting that both companies are trying to benefit off of the old LJN line at the same time. Like, it wasn't something that I thought we were going to see at all. Now we've got two different companies trying to do it.
Yeah,
I love that Slaughter. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That's a great figure.
I believe that Slaughter is a pre-order where they are randomly giving out the figure on the right because that is like a it's like the box cover or whatever. They don't all come like that. Like, most people are going to get the one on the left and the one on the right.
My understanding is that they all come in the box on the right, and that the chase one, the hard to get one, is going to be a black card.
Oh,
the black card,
okay.
the LJNs, the later releases came on black cards instead of blue. That's
I don't know where I read it, but you would know better than I would. So I accept that. The box is like very cool. It is a good part of that figure. So I was kind of sad to hear that. It's like you're just gonna get a regular shitty figure
right
on the left, whereas the right is like this cool ass figure.
Way,
but
good stuff.
Get anything cool in the mail?
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got that's not the end of my figure talk. I got a delivery that I've been waiting on for probably 4 months. I don't know if this was a good purchase. It was a while. I'll explain why it took so long. It'll kind of be self-explanatory once I show what it is. But I saw it. I was like, man, that's not something I would normally buy, but it's probably a once in a lifetime kind of thing. I had to drop a pretty hefty dollar amount to get this. But let me show you this. It's big too.
It's a Buff Bagwell. What is it?
It's not a Buff Bagwell. I should have taken a picture of it to get it up here. This is a Kenta Kobashi autographed figure from Japan.
Oh, wow! I did. Yeah, I was going to ask you if it's autographed because I saw the thing. It was either an autograph or a lasso, and I'm glad it was the autograph.
Definitely an autograph. So I love me some
cool.
Kenta Kobashi. He's getting up there in age. The figure itself is hard to find. Carded like that, it probably goes for about $120. I paid $250 to get the whole thing done, to get the figure, to get the autograph. And then the reason it took 4 months is because this was through a third party. I wish. It was through, because he would have been actually punctual on it. This was through a company that just had a connection with Kobashi, and he wasn't coming to the States or anything. They just took all the orders in the States and then sent him all the stuff. He signed everything and then sent it all back. You know what I mean? So
that figure was on that Suez Canal boat that got stuck. That's why it took so goddamn long.
Definitely could have. So I'm very happy with that. I'm not normally an autograph guy, but I am definitely a Kenta Kobashi guy, and I don't know the next time I'm going to see one of those, so I figured. And I also purchased this 4 months ago when my eBay sales were through the roof, so I had money to spare. And so I was throwing money around and had no problem with it. And I still don't. I don't regret it at all. I think it'll be a cool piece once I get it displayed somewhere. But in the meantime, it's just a shelf piece.
And I believe, wasn't he at StarCast in Vegas?
He was. When you guys went, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the things that you were pissed off of immediately. Because we just walked in and saw him. Here's a little interesting fact. Kenta Kobashi, you want to guess his age?
Oh, I don't, because it scares me. 65?
54.
Whoa. He's got plenty of time.
And you want to guess Bobby Lashley's age?
How old is Bobby Lashley?
45.
Wow.
Dude,
really?
If any of us can look like Bobby Lashley at age 45, we got to find whatever water he's drinking and the program that he looks. He's a monster.
Sure.
But he's 45 years old, man.
How old is John Cena?
200? I don't.
Just turned 23. Yep, just turned 23.
Cena debuted in 04, so I would guess 17 plus 23, 40.
44.
Wow.
Yeah, just
okay. And Lashley still works like a machine, man. He's like still good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. He still goes.
I was talking to our friend Sebastian in Long Beach this week. He brought that up to me, and I was like, totally shocked. I would have guessed like 38, 39, okay, 40, but complete shock on that one. Any new bookings you got going on, Peewee? You doing any more shows with Braun Strowman in attendance?
Not that I know of. As far as Braun goes, I did get one more booking. I don't actually know the date. It is. I reached out once I heard that Hornswoggle was going to be running another show up in Wisconsin, and I don't think he's on the show. I think it's just a bunch of random Wisconsin guys. But I figured it was another good opportunity. This is something I'm not used to doing. Back when we were, running wrestling. And it was 2000, 2001, 2002. I never had to search out bookings. I never had to reach out to promoters. I never had to do anything. It was either like we would just talk about the upcoming shows at camp and we knew to be there. Or if I was traveling on the road with Long Time would just call me and be like, "Hey, it's Thursday. We're getting in the car tomorrow. Meet me at noon, and we'll be in Georgia by Saturday."
What do you have to do? Like send a 5-minute mixtape to promoters?
I have, because I've been reaching out to guys. Some guys do ask for like what's called a sizzle reel, like just a highlights of what you do.
Oh yeah, just send them that Kamala picture. With
yeah, that's all you gotta do.
Here, buddy, this is all I need. When do I start?
This is my resume, sir.
So I I don't have a sizzle reel. Obviously, I've done 2 shows. I barely have, like, if I'm going to send footage, I don't want to send the like chopped up footage from 2002 from our YouTube channel. I want to take stuff that actually looks decent, that I can at least at a minimum get from my phone. I didn't record anything yet, personally, but there were cameras and there were recordings at both the shows that I did. I just haven't gone through the hassle of putting together any videos and chopping anything together. I'm in the process of doing it. We'll see what happens. But meanwhile, for the show in Wisconsin, it didn't require anything. I knew the guy who runs it with Swoggle, and I know Swoggle, and just said, "Hey, I'm looking for extra bookings. If you have a spot, let me know." They said, "Sure, let me reach out to our other ref. Let me make sure we got room." They got back to me the next day and said that I'm booked. And I currently cannot find where the show is or when it is, but I'll let you know. It's not till August, so here it is. It's this is July 10th. Oh no, that show I already did. I don't have the show date. Fantastic. It's in August sometime, maybe August 4th. That kind of sounds correct. So I'll update you next week. I'll definitely have it.
It's like a Tuesday.
It can't be August 4th. Correct. That is a Wednesday. All right, I'll let you know. This is all new to me.
I'd actually like you to keep trying to figure out what date you're booked. If you can keep doing this for a while.
Can you tell us what today is? Let's start there.
Let's see. All right, I'll get back to you. Keep going.
I do want to say that the money that I saved on the Nitro pack of cards with Buff Bagwell on it, I did end up purchasing Sal's Megamix 9. We got another VHS.
Another one.
Is that a weekend at Bernie's?
It is.
But that's LOD on the front.
That is, yes, absolutely.
That is amazing.
It's called Weekend in Hell. A lot of good matches on here. Ricky Steamboat versus Scotty Flamingo, Raven from 1992. Earthquake versus Bastion Booger, a classic if I remember. What's this? Lita versus Trish Stratus. Goldberg versus the Giant. That's got to be a disaster. Is that the one where he gives him the jackhammer? That's got to be, right?
There's a jackhammer in Weekend at Bernie's? I was trying to figure out what's the date of the show.
Son of a bitch. Anyway, shout out to @_PowerDad5000, my guy Sal. He raised over $200 this week for Opportunity House Shelter, and I think only 25 of these were made. He sold out of them very quickly, but I love them. I love these things, and they just keep compiling. Can I write this stuff off? This goes to charity, right? I can
yeah, that's
is that how this
I believe so. Sure. Yes, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna based on my tax expertise, absolutely.
Flash the allegedly graphic.
Oh,
yeah. This upcoming Friday, tickets go on sale at noon, I want to say, for the GCW Hoffman Estates, Illinois shows. So we have GCW and Black Label Pro's 3 Cup Stuffed, which is a Friday, September 3rd show at 11 p.m.
Good Lord.
Me and Putski will be there. Anybody wants to join us? Let's do this. Let's have fun. It was a blast last year. Peewee, I hear you're coming.
I got an update. I am not going to St. Louis that weekend. I am absolutely free.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Please buy me a ticket.
We're gonna do that, and then they're also doing tickets for just a GCW Saturday show called Art of War, which is Saturday night at 8 p.m., which is better than 11 p.m., but it is just a GCW show.
I don't know. I think 11 is better than 8.
I'm with you. We're going to go to IHOP first. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too. And then the last show that they're doing tickets for this Friday is Effie's Big Gay Brunch Chicago, which is the Sunday morning show. Effie is a gay professional wrestler, and every time they do these like weekend shows, he does Effie's Big Gay Brunch. This is like the 4th one or something like that. 11 a.m. I'd rather do the 11 p.m. show.
Agreed.
But these are all, similar shows. There's a lot of GCW guys and whatever. So I know Putski's in. We're probably going to go to all of them because Putski just wants to get out of the house, I'm pretty sure. I think we're also going to do Dynamite that week. We've talked about it, me and Putski. So,
you are doing it?
I think so. I think it's just going to be a big wrestling weekend. And then Sunday is the pay-per-view AEW. Our dear friend Suave, I think he might be getting a press pass, and he's like, you can have my ticket. Now, did he say, like, I'm going to sell you my ticket? Yes. But I'm going to make it sound like he offered me the ticket for free. That way I can accept the ticket for free and then sell it. Because I'd rather watch with my friends at home. I don't know if anybody wants to watch it, but I'm sure Santino will be involved, so... I'd rather watch that. I would like to be there live. It's down the street from my house, pretty much, 15 minutes. But it's too expensive. How was ECW not too expensive when I made $5 an hour? And now I have like a career and money, and I don't want to go to these expensive things.
I don't think it's the money, right?
But the biggest thing that happened is I found out that Matt Cardona-Nick Gage match is this weekend.
Yeah, I heard it's not the Chicago show. Yeah, I didn't know it was this weekend, but I heard it was not the Chicago show.
This Saturday. I don't know what the show is called or anything like that. I was just shocked to hear it. There's also a show happening in Elgin, Illinois, which we talked about going to one after my birthday / the Billy Joe Travis Memorial. You know the rest. Sing it with me. I'll hold the mic out like everybody knows the rest of it. So they did this show in Elgin last month or whatever. They're doing another one. This one has Christopher Daniels again, James Storm, which is like the first time I believe he's been north of the Mason-Dixon line, and Eric Bischoff is on the show. Eric Bischoff coming to Elgin, Illinois. How about that?
I believe for a GCW show?
No, just like a random
indie. Yeah.
Just like a random show.
I wonder if it's the same indie. Last time we were in Elgin, or at least last time I saw a wrestling show in Elgin, was that Tatanka show that I had Tatanka sign the 8x10 for my sister and pledge his hatred for her.
No, this is an outdoor show at a restaurant. I know exactly where it is. It's right off of Randall Road.
Outdoor shows. I don't like this.
I'm with you.
August 6th is the Swaggle show in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Also an outdoor show. I'm 3 for 3 on outdoor shows. All I want to do is be inside in a locker room that has a roof.
With the Delta variant here going into places where they are not vaccinated, maybe Wisconsin, you want to be outdoors.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably a good thing.
Touche.
Yeah. And then the last thing I have about shows was something our dear friend Goff chimed in with. He said he sent me a trailer for I don't know what this is. I think it's a TV series called Heels with Stephen Amell. You know who Stephen Amell is? He was in some bullshit comic.
Not Green Lantern, Arrow.
Yeah, it was Green Arrow.
Yes. Knows,
So he's in this TV show, which is about two brothers. One is a face, one is a heel, and they're both trying to take over their dad's wrestling territory or something. It's going to be on Stars. They've already released a trailer for it.
Okay.
Are you more interested in watching a wrestling TV show or a wrestling show on TV?
So Raw or this Heels show?
Yeah.
Probably the heel. I liked Glow on Netflix. That was a fine show.
I'm with you. Good show.
Yeah, agreed. I agree with myself. Honestly, I have zero interest in the show. I don't think I'll watch it. To me, it sounds very similar to the storyline of Paradise Alley. And I don't think Paradise Alley can be outdone. If you haven't seen Paradise Alley,
are you saying you don't want to watch Paradise Alley for 10 to 12 weeks in a row?
I'm in. I would absolutely love to watch Paradise Alley for 10 to 12 weeks.
Oh, but not
I don't want to watch
10
Heels
to
for
12
10 to
weeks.
12 weeks, right?
All right. Well, let's see. We're getting close to the end here. So a couple weeks ago, we talked about if you had an embarrassing story, Peewee.
Oh, right.
And you gave us one where you ripped some pants of yours. And then you told us you had a creepy, embarrassing story. And we didn't get to it last week. We were busy, God knows doing what. So why don't you give us your creepy, embarrassing story?
Okay, I can do that. And I won't take too long because I know we are getting to the end here. This happened. I've been dreading telling this story for 2 weeks. Not because I don't think it's creepy on my end. But I think the way that I'll probably end up telling
you agreed to do this. I'm not forcing you to do this.
Against his will, he's got to tell the story.
I don't trust myself to tell it in a way where I don't sound like a creep, even though I was completely innocent here. So I am going to a show. We were driving to North Carolina. This was the show. I've talked about this show before. I don't think anything significant happened, but it was like the whole crew, me, Randy, Longtime, Arson, Brandon, everybody was going down there. This was the show where we rented a ring, didn't bring our trailer down there. And the guy that was setting it up was Mr. 2020, a legitimate blind guy who would wrestle. Do you remember me telling this story? Sasha gave me a look like you don't know. A legitimate blind guy. He was putting together the ring, like he did the ring rentals.
What?
Right. He would just feel around and know what his tools felt like and felt the ring and built the entire ring blind. And then he worked the show. His name was Mr. 2020. I guarantee we've talked about this before. I swear that
he was like, I can't see you. That was his thing.
No, that's the thing.
Good night, everybody.
If your whole gimmick is I'm blind, then every match, every town you go to, just do a Jake the Snake bag over the head match, right? People are going to be you're blind anyways. Who cares if there's a bag on your head or not? Then you just do the blind match. And you can do the thing where the people are getting behind it when you're pointing at the guy or when you're not pointing at the guy. There's so many spots you can do. This guy, I don't know if he was self-conscious about it or he just didn't like to acknowledge his blindness. He was 100% blind. His gimmick was Mr. 2020, a reference to his site. He worked like he wasn't blind. He worked like he could see the guy, and he worked like he could, he had to make sure that the guy on the other side of the ring was like telling him where he was and like making loud sounds with his steps so he could walk in the right direction. Like they did all this stuff secretively to make sure that the guy didn't come off as blind. I get that, but don't have your gimmick name be Mr. 2020 if we're not focusing on your eyes. So that, honestly, Mr. 2020 has nothing to do with this story. I just thought it's just a funny anecdote about it. So I'm reffing this show, and I think I'm the only ref. So I'm just out there the entire show for like 6 or 7 matches. Around the 7th match, I notice that there's a girl in the front row, and it's between matches. It's between the first and the second one, and as I'm like doing my thing and just killing time between matches, I check the ropes, I check the turnbuckles, just pretend like I'm checking the tag ropes, just pretending like I'm doing something while I'm waiting for the ring announcer to get in and start the second match. I look up into the crowd and this girl in the front row waves at me. Just gives me like a nice smile. Like, oh, okay, that's nice. Don't really think too much about it. This is like 24-year-old Peewee, so I don't get too excited, but still nice that a girl is smiling at me. I'm getting some sort of attention. I move on with the show, and now between like the 3rd and the 4th match, she does it again. She's waving. And she's doing this throughout the entire show, and she's only doing it towards me. I didn't notice her doing it towards the ring announcers, anybody standing ringside, or the wrestlers. From what I can tell, she's just paying attention to me. This isn't anything that's ever happened before. And I just moved along with the show, and then after the show, I ran into one of Mr. 2020's like ring crew personnel. She was a wrestler. It was a lady. She was a wrestler on the show as well, but she was also ring crew. And first she comes up to me. She's like, "Hey, this girl wants me to give you her number." I said, "Sure, you can. If you want to." She said, I wanted to make sure it was okay with you first before I got it to you, so I just want to come back here and make sure that you're cool with it. I said, sure, that's fine, whatever. That's great. Thank you. Also, let her know I'm from Chicago. Like, I can't. This isn't going anywhere. I can't.
You're
do
here
anything.
for a good time and not a long time.
It wasn't even that. I was just saying, like, I'm leaving in a matter of hours. Like, not even that. I'm leaving. Like, the ring is being packed up. The car is on.
We gotta make this quick, babe. Come on, let's get to work here.
But sure, if you want to text back and forth once I get back to Chicago, absolutely, sure, whatever you want to do. So yeah, whatever you want to do. If you want to give me your number, absolutely. So she goes back to her. And I continue taking down the ring, just working on, taking down the show. And 5 minutes later, that same lady comes up to me and she looks at me with disgust. How could you? How could I what? What do you mean? What happened? Before I could even get back to that girl and ask her for her number to get it to you, her mom came up to me and she's like, "What are you doing? She should not be involved with any of these guys on this wrestling show. Do you know that she's only 14 years old?"
Wow.
I said, whoa. First of all, back off. Like, I haven't done anything. I haven't even seen the girl. I haven't waved her. I haven't talked to her. The lady was getting mad at me for interacting with her and approving the giving of me the phone number. And she was also, I'm guessing she was flustered because the mom was getting on her for trying to persuade her daughter of interacting with these wrestlers and referees. So at that point, I was just like, no, just totally trying to diffuse it. I didn't interact with the girl once. I didn't interact with the mother. It was all just that woman going between the two of us to try to diffuse it. But it was a very weird, I'll even say embarrassing situation, right? So yeah, that's my creepy wrestling story.
For Jerry Lawler, that's just another Saturday night. Put that allegedly.
I got it.
Yeah, we did it. They were different times. It was Memphis.
That doesn't matter.
Listen, all the Kings used to do that. Anyway, I'm kidding. Jerry Lawler, great guy. Lost his pen in my car once. It was a beautiful thing. But guys, let's end this on a non-creepy, non-litigious note, all right?
Good luck.
Let's end this with a little bit of trivia. Let's get out of here. First to 3 points wins. We haven't done this in a minute, and then we'll get out of here.
I don't know what this is. Okay.
We did trivia before. Remember, I ask a question, and then you try to answer it.
Sure, I can do that.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, here's the question. Producer Tony, you get the first one. What team defeated Strikeforce for the World Tag Team Championship at WrestleMania 4? Strikeforce, of course, the greatest tag team of all time, featuring Rick Martel and Tito Santana.
These are questions from that board game, right?
Yeah.
I see. Okay, now I'm back on board. Okay, let's go.
All right, so WrestleMania 4, so that's late 80s, yeah?
Sure. Mid to late, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with Demolition.
Ding, ding, ding. Producer Tony takes the one.
There's no way you knew
lead.
that. Did you know that?
No, I just guessed.
Wow,
I was thinking of tag teams.
I absolutely would have guessed New Day.
Peewee, your question. Who won a record-tying 5th WWE Championship by defeating The Undertaker at SummerSlam 97?
SummerSlam 97, that's... Oh, This is 80. Okay, I'm going to go with... Was that Sean?
Producer Tony for the steal. Who won a record-tying 5th WWE Championship by defeating The Undertaker at SummerSlam 1997?
It hurts me to say this, but was it Bret Hart?
He did it.
Man, that was my other guess. Damn, son of a...
Producer Tony takes the 2-0 lead and has the chance to win it all right here.
Do I get the Walter Payton doing it right 7-inch if I sweep
not.
here?
Absolutely.
Damn it!
You know what you get? We get to end the show. You get to leave.
All right, I'm in. Let's go, boys.
Sign me up.
What fellow Canadian ended Bret the Hitman Hart's first reign as WWE Intercontinental Champion in January 1992?
Oh, boy. Fellow Canadian.
Canada.
Was it the Mountie?
It was producer
that.
Tony.
What is happening?
With
Jesus.
the 3-0 sweep. I've never seen him want to leave more than...
I don't want to do this now. Let's go home, boys.
Wow. And you didn't know the Bret Hart either, right? All three of those were just guesses?
Those were all guesses.
Wow.
That's it for the show this week. Next week on the show, I got a challenge for you two. So I was listening to the radio for the first time in a long time, and I heard a name. It is a baseball player who plays for the White Sox, I believe.
Strowman.
And his name is Lance Lynn.
Yes.
And I thought this is the combination of the two greatest wrestlers in the history of the world combined, Lance Storm and Jerry Lynn, which got me thinking, if I can combine two wrestlers, not only like their attributes, not only mic skills, but the name as well, like Lance Lynn, and create one wrestler, who would those wrestlers be and why? And so I'm giving you guys a full week to think about it.
Ooh.
So if you want to combine somebody like Andre the Giant and John Cena, you would call him Andre the John Cena. I wouldn't go with John the Giant. I would go Andre the John Cena. So I want to give you guys a while to think about that. Peewee, I know you're going to be in Texas, just sleepless nights thinking about that.
I got a 16-hour drive one way. I got nothing but time.
There you go. But then yours better be good.
I will start thinking about it at 9:05 next week. I'll start thinking about it.
Think about it, and we'll do that next week. And then next week also, the return, if I book a guest, of Dead or Alive.
Whoa,
how about that?
Whoa. Wow.
How about that?
Big
It's
promises,
been a while.
Yeah.
Been a while. And whoever wins next week's Dead or Alive gets to take down the nest at my house. What's making me bitter this week, it can only be one thing, and it is Goldberg, and I don't have to go into it. It's Goldberg. It will always be Goldberg. Anytime he's on my television, it's Goldberg. Producer Tony, what's making you bitter this week?
New Glarus Brewery in Wisconsin.
Oh, no.
So I went to Wisconsin for a camping trip, real quick trip, and I like Spotted Cow beer. It's a great beer. Like you can only buy it in Wisconsin. And the goddamn one gas station that I went to was sold out of it.
Oh.
Like, come on, man. You can only buy this crap here. Yeah. You should be stocked to the gills with Spotted Cow beer. And let alone the gas station guy looked like Steve Blackman, so fuck him too.
Peewee, what's making you bitter this week?
Sorry, I got busy. Here we go. I was watching the pay-per-view. Something I don't normally do. I was watching wrestling this week. And what match was it? It had to be Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. And they were working the legs. I don't remember exactly the move that Rhea had on Charlotte, but she had a move on her, and Charlotte was pretty close to the ropes, getting closer, and then Charlotte starts reaching for the ropes. This might have happened on Raw. It might have been the pay-per-view, might have happened on Raw. I know the match happened on both. Either way, when you're 6 inches from the ropes, I cannot stand, and I don't understand what you're thinking when they do this, when they're close to the ropes, and they raise their hand up, and then they slowly finally grab it. I don't like that. I understand what you're trying to do. I understand you're trying to get the theatrics, and you're trying to build up the suspense of, is he going to grab it? Is he going to grab it? Is he going to grab it? Yeah, can he get it? Yeah, he can get it. If this is a fight and you're that close to the ropes, as soon as you're there, you grab it and you're done. If you want this to look real, then start acting like it's real. It really pisses me off when that kind of stuff happens and it slips through the cracks. And I'm sure nobody in the back, allegedly, nobody in the back says anything about it.
I was hoping for another Chev Up Taco promo, but I guess
I could not listen to last week's episode. I turned it off with 5 minutes to go because I did not want to re-listen to it.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/bittermarks. New episodes drop every Friday morning, bittermarks.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram @bittermarks. Email us, bittermarks@gmail.com. And last but not least, buy our shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/bittermarks.com. That's COM as in, delicious. Peewee, Producer Tony, and all the smooth babies in the YouTube chat. Send us your two named dream person and whatever the name is going to be. See you next week.
like this video, guys. We did great last week. We've already got 4 on it this time. Let's keep going. And I also had a thought. If Vince hates sneezes so much, how does he feel about hiccups?
Bye.